this demo we are turning some classic grunge and alt-rock riffs into lush dreamscapes with this. Slöer from Walrus Audio. Now, Slöer, I've no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is an ambient reverb inspiration station with 5 algorithms, 5 modulation wave shapes, the ability to store 3 presets, stereo width control, and lots more. Now, the different algorithms you set with this mode rotary knob here, and then the 4 knobs across the top are where you're going to do most of your tweaking. You have decay, which is like the length of the reverb. You have, what's that, filter, which is essentially tone control. Next one is depth, that controls the amount of modulation applied. And then you have the mix, which is the wet dry mix. Now there's also some secondary functions as well, like you can change the waveform of the modulation, stuff like that. And then you've also got these 2 sliders here, and we'll get into those as we go through the demo. So let's check out some tones. Quick run through of my recording setup for this one because I've gone stereo. Oh yes, indeed. This is a stereo pedal. You can do stereo in and stereo out, or mono in, stereo out, or mono in and mono out if you've just got 1 amp. So I'm mono in, but I am stereo out. So the left out is going to my Morgan MVP 66. The right out is going into my Victory V40. So first up, clean tone bridge pickup. It's right on the edge of breakup there. Then neck pickup though cleans up more. So I'm going to go through each of the modes. We're going to start with Dream, which is lush as you'd expect. So with these settings, notice there's a little bit of wobbly modulation there. Using the X control, you can increase that if you want. Now in this mode, if you hold down the sustain button on the right there, you get this latching mode. So we have this. Check it out. And then if I take my foot off, it gradually dies away. And you can change with the depth knob, I think it is, how it tails off as well, which is pretty cool. But I really like it for just playing over the top. We're going to do a little bit of Fell on Black Days, another Soundgarden tune. So with these settings, I'm going to do a bit of Walk by Foo Fighters. Next up, we're going to look at live lightning crashes, and we've got the light mode engaged now. This has a shimmer type reverb built into it, and the X knob actually in the left hand position, which is what I've got here with these settings, gives you a much more smooth sort of pad like tone, and then if you crank it up you get a much higher end shimmer going on. Really, really lush sound. And note I've cranked the decay as well, so they're going to hang around for a bit longer. So nice, isn't it? It's still going. So this time with the X knob fully to the right. with the mix up full, you know, you can go full church organ, can't you? Now the stretch knob's cool as well. In the middle it's like this. But if I move it fully to the right, so the stretch knob basically allows you to stretch the reverb algorithm. So it's either lowering the sample rate or increasing it, right? So you can get like darker tones or slightly brighter tones. So for the second light mode example, I'm going to do Tonight by the Smashing Pumpkins. Now I've cut back on the mix and the decay ever so slightly. It's going to sound a little bit like this. Lovely, isn't it? The next setting is called Rain, and with these settings, and I've gone narrow this time as well, but with the X knob right to the left, you're going to get some really noticeable, like almost delay effects happening within the reverb, right? Like more noticeable on palm mutes, I think. You know, than playing chords, right? So let's check it out with a bit of Nirvana's Heart-Shaped Box. The X knob in the middle. And all the way over to the right. Notice how it's smoothed out those little sort of delay bits. Now I've cranked the decay for this next example with the Rain setting. Cavernous, isn't it? And we'll do the Plush chords from Stone Temple Pilots because they're lush. So next up, let's have a look at the dark setting. This incorporates a low octave. The X control basically sets the level of the low octave. So at the moment we've got it right up so you can hear. That is glorious. Let's do the chords to Pearl Jam's Porch. Check them out. that sounds huge. Let's do that again, but I'm going to crank all the settings like this. Check it out. So with those settings, too much. Sounds awesome, but it's a bit too much. So I'm just going to do 2 notes of that same chord. Let's try it with a bit of drive as well, shall we? So I hope you've enjoyed the vid. I'm going to play you out with another Rise setting, and we're going to look at Chloe Dancer, Crown of Thorns, slightly less crazy reverb, but lovely nonetheless. See you soon.